back, parasocial besties. How have you been since the last video? It's been 5 seconds for me, so I'm doing great. Still have a lot of energy from recording the last video, so we're gonna keep it moving. Yay! Okie dokie smoky. So we're getting straight into it with Hannah Bihatt. We're gonna be focusing heavy on the abuse allegations and showing a lot of evidence about it. We are just gonna get straight into it because I genuinely don't want to sit here and do a huge opening. I just want to get into this because it's so bad and interesting and awful and fascinating, you know? So we're gonna start with the first video that I saw because that's how we always start. It was the Walmart video, it was the flinch video, the fake out video, you know what I mean? And if you don't, you're gonna see it soon. I say you know what I mean a lot. You know what I mean?
And I feel like at this point they're just a Vegas tradition.
I slowed it down a bunch so you can kind of see what's going on. In my opinion, he clearly curls up to himself and looks super defensive. And the thing that I noticed is the way he looked up at his dad and then down at the box again. To me, it's almost like he's assessing what's gonna happen. He's like, okay, dad's handing me something. Is he mad? No. Okay, so I'm probably good. You know, like, don't hit me. I feel like he was definitely checking out his dad's face to see what was going on there. And I do want to clarify, these are my shitty little opinions. You don't have to share them. I personally think something dark and insidious is going on behind the scenes. Doesn't mean you have to. Since I started scripting this video, there's been a lot more that I've seen regarding Hannah and her shitty little husband and her poor sweet babies. A lot of it hinges on a lot of alleged physical abuse or just kind of sketchy situations. So some of them I'm going to talk about specifically, and then other ones I'm going to just kind of cut together into a big edit, and then we'll just talk about it at the end in terms of her husband being a negligent, awful person, allegedly. There's just too much evidence. We'd be here all freaking day if we could talk about every reason why I don't like their family, specifically the adults. There's a lot of food neglect that seems to go on in the house. She likes to talk about how if her kid's not interested in the food, then he just can't eat, and he needs to finish the food that's on his table and and I'm like, listen, I didn't get this body from no trauma related to food, girl boss. So maybe tap the brakes on your food educational systems with him until you can actually get a good grasp on your own relationship with food. How about? So anyway, let's just get into her apology video for specifically the Walmart video. This came way before she knew what was about to happen. Like, honey,
you've got a big storm coming.
And you had no idea in this moment. Snowballed quick, huh?
So the fact that I even have to address this right now is kind of insane. Social media is just, it's a scary place. And I never understood people that much when they said they couldn't share their kids' faces online or they couldn't share much about their kids. I didn't really understand it, but it's crazy. My husband is the sweetest, nicest, kindest, most loving, most nurturing father in the entire world.
It is crazy, and you should have listened.
If you were to know me in real life, this whole lazy husband thing, it's satire.
I think it's funny that she says it's satire because, like, bitch, where? I could argue that the second account that she had was satire, but she does not mention that account. She rarely brings up that she had a second account. I'm pretty sure it's deleted by now. I tried to look up her videos this morning and they were nowhere to be found. Shocker. All I'm saying is she says it's satire. I don't agree with her on this page in particular. I think if she were referring to her other page, then maybe, but just even on that page, she sounds bitter and mad. Maybe that's the bit. I don't know. I do deadpan face people a lot and say stupid off the wall shit, like, all the time. And then I'm like, I was just kidding. So, like, maybe. I don't think so, but maybe. Hi, editing me. I forgot to say that we're switching topics. We'll be back to this video, but we're gonna go ahead and pivot over to this Helix video that her husband really pisses me off on. Okay, let's watch.
Being so newly postpartum, sleep does not come easily around here.
Dude, I just noticed the way her butt hit the ground. Did you see that? On a newly postpartum taint? Absolutely not.
Living in a 3-story house, this mattress was not easy to get upstairs. I kid you not, this thing is probably at least 150 pounds. 150 pounds?
I'm sorry, how many pounds? I know for a damn fact you are not supposed to be lifting anything over your baby. And that's like a baby that's not morbidly obese. Like, put heavy shit down. Again, you just shoved something out of your entire body. Do you know how big a baby's head is? I understand women's bodies were made for this. That doesn't make it a comfortable, fun experience afterwards, so I've been told. Stop trying to move a bed, girl. This is also the girl who thinks that mental health days shouldn't exist, though.
Okay, so at what point is it acceptable to call into work? My motto my entire life is that calling in sick to work is weak. And I still believe that, like, 99% of the time. I don't believe in mental health days. I really don't. You're depressed to get your butt out of bed and go to work. And I've worked with a lot of people that are like, oh yeah, I'm taking a mental health day, or I haven't gone to work in a week because of my mental health. Don't you have bills? How the heck do you pay your freaking bills? Like, you can be sad at work, can't you? Can you be anxious at work? I don't know. Maybe that's insensitive. I don't know. I'm solo parenting for the next few days because my husband decided to take a last minute trip with his friends. It means I had to rearrange my entire work schedule because I was supposed to work all this week. Before you guys comment or send me your divorce attorneys, no, I'm just kidding. A man got called to jury duty.
Okay, I think this is the satire to which she referred. However, one joke does not a satire account make. Literally the shortest clip ever. That was just to show you the satire. We're so funny. Her husband abandons us. I think she is genuinely just pissed off and just being bitter, and then is like, it's satire. What are you talking about? I would never say that. I love my life.
We are solo parenting for the next like 3 days, my husband's on jury duty, and I quite literally am exhausted and feel like absolute dog poo today. This kid back here just knows when I'm on my own, and that kid knows I'm on my own too, because he gets way more hyper and he gets way more fussy.
Call me delusional, but I think that knowing that the person who's allegedly smacking you around, them being out of town, would make you feel marginally more safe so that you could be yourself a little more. As far as the baby's concerned, being more fussy, maybe they're a baby. They're just gonna kind of do that. I don't know. Maybe he gets smacked around and he cries too. Maybe he feels safer. I feel like babies aren't that cognizant. Maybe toddlers aren't either. I can't imagine that she's like left with less help and so they seem overwhelming because the husband does literally fuck all the time. Allegedly.
Anyways, I am so freaking exhausted. I literally can't even breathe. I'm so tired right now. So, and it's also 8 degrees outside. 8. And I had to get out of the house.
Meanwhile, the toddler is howling in the backseat for chocolate. And this, again, isn't the first time. Like, she's horrible about this restriction thing. And she's clearly showing us how cold this car is.
This is rock solid.
And this baby's in the backseat, shivering his little face off. And his brother's bundled up, turning into a little babysicle next to him. Meanwhile, Hannah is just talking shit about their kids in front of their faces and just bitching and moaning and pissing and whining about everything that's super irrelevant.
If my husband ever questions why I spent money, I say, none of your business, it's Christmas. So maybe I'll go like treat myself and say, none of your business, it's Christmas. What?
Jesus Christ.
Bitch, that's a small car. They are right there. They can hear you. We need to simmer down and use our inside voices. Secondly, who is this crusty man telling you how to spend your money? The man who's never home? I looked so hard to figure out what he did. Everything I could find says that this creepy little toadstool just does DoorDash. I have just done DoorDash. You have to really commit to the bit for that. And the way I see his ass around the house doing absolutely nothing in her second account means he's probably not off doing things that are productive and helpful for the family. Meanwhile, she is, and she's bringing in all the income. She does budgeting and only talks about her budget. She never mentions his budget. And he has the balls and audacity to sit here and be like, not in my Christian Minecraft server, bitch. You are going to give me that money and you are not going to spend a penny of it until I say it's okay. I understand couples obviously being on the same page with finances because if you're sharing a bank account, you should know what's going on. And you should have a budget and you should have a tight grip mutually. You shouldn't be the only one giving a fuck about the finances. Generally. I don't know how your relationship's set up, but I'm saying generally in more of a 50-50 both parties work type relationship, you should both be involved, no? But they're balling out left, right, and center, getting food, but they can't afford a $30 jacket for her baby.
I'm sorry, but I can't spend $35 on a toddler jacket. I know he needs one, obviously. I'm not just gonna say, like, I know I can't just be like, oh, like, it's so expensive, he doesn't need to have a jacket. He needs a jacket. Especially if it's 8 degrees outside.
So I just got a $17 sandwich from Surf City Sandwich here in Arizona.
I literally just spent $51 on a single Popeye's chicken sandwich.
They're getting all sorts of random shit sent to them through partnerships, paid promotions, sponsors, stuff like that. And they're renting out their house, so they're getting an extra income. Shut the fuck up, Hannah's idiot irrelevant husband, and I don't even know your name and I have zero intention of learning it. Dude, can you tell I keep talking to the end of my lung span? Am I okay?
Did you take off your shoes? James? Why?
They ask you how you are, you just have to say that you're fine when you're not.
Wish me luck for at least next year.
One thing I can't stand is a shitty parent who does stuff like this, who will throw their kid under the bus just to make a point, who's like, oh my god, you inconvenient little troll that I birthed. What? I understand frustration with your kid, but every time she eye twitches, an angel loses their wings, and she does it all of the time. She's just so annoying and so negative as I'm bitching about her incessantly. And I'm sure she is hamming it up for camera. I don't know if that makes it better, because I imagine one day, especially if CPS gets involved and if he gets taken away, he's gonna get his grubby little paws on these videos and he's gonna be like, oh, I was that much of an inconvenience to my mom. Being the butt of your parents' joke is never fun, and I don't care that it's not like the internet's there watching and like, ha, laughing in his face at the way she's treating him. The fact that she uses her frustration toward her children as like a lot of the root for her commentary, it just drives me insane, because then it also kind of normalizes that behavior. Like my favorite creators do it and they like, oh my god, what? Oh, can you believe my kid? They do that too, so like it's fine if I do it. No, it's not, because it's the same way girls in school used to like about you behind your back and it never felt good. It's still talking behind the back, it's just being loud and awful about it. Clearly that's a very triggering topic for me. All I see is just this pitiful like, poor me for having to endure with my son who's just such a hellion. Listen to him scream and whine. Yeah, that's what he does, bitch. He's hungry, he's cold, he's tired. You yanked him out of the comfort of his own home at 8 in the morning, sit in the car while you ignore him for your content. She's acting as though he's interrupting her content when in reality her content's interrupting wasting her baby time. So it turns out there are two of these, by the way. I thought there was just the lemon juice video this morning. I had the displeasure of coming across the jalapeno video. So we're just going to talk about both right now. I'm going to show you back to back. I'm going to show you the lemon one second because I want to talk about that one specifically, but both of them have the same encompassing point that I want to bitch about. So give me a sec.
Hot? That was spicy, man.
Call me that sensitive, dramatic woke friend. I genuinely don't give a fuck. That baby trusted you. And I know that that can be really annoying to hear. Like,
It's funny, it's a joke.
but it's not funny and it's not a joke. How is hurting someone a joke? Like, that baby is clearly uncomfortable. You can't just walk up to someone, punch him in the face and be like,
Lighten up, bro. It's a joke.
no, that was a physical assault. Don't do it again. To me, that is an equivalent of it because, again, sounds crazy and woke. Would you suck down a spoonful of lemon juice? There are some people who would. And with those people, like, genuinely, if you're trying to share it because you think it would be a delicious treat for your child, go for it. But I don't think it's okay to give them the lemon juice, jalapenos, knowing that it's going to hurt them. Because I guarantee you, Hannah's not sucking down lime juice or lemon juice or whatever. Maybe a jalapeno, but you know goddamn good and well that those are spicy. Why would you do that? And I feel like there are people who are going to get upset with me for saying this. And I get it because you might feel guilty for laughing. And I get it because I laughed and I felt guilty. And I was like, shut up. It's a stupid point. Go away. Then, like, I thought about it for more than a second and I was like, listen, maybe if you feel bad about something, it's because something bad happened sometimes within reason. You know, this could get victim blamey. We're gonna move on. The point is I don't like watching babies suffer. There's clearly a point where he like, the bitch forgot how to breathe. Give him some water. It went on way too long. And the same thing with the jalapeno video. What are we doing? We know it's gonna hurt. Now we're gonna talk about her shitbag husband that I don't like. This is where I'm gonna put in that giant edit that I make of all of my least favorite moments involving this man that I still do not know the name of and still will never learn. Let's watch.
My husband's gonna be gone out of town for the next week, and I'm mentally preparing to be a solo mother again. I mean, let's be real. There are some days where he's home that I still feel like a solo mother. For instance, on football Saturdays, I feel like a solo mother. Anytime that BYU is playing, I feel like a solo mother. Anytime that he's on his phone, I feel like a solo mother. Honestly, anytime the baby's crying and I say, hey, can you help? I feel like a solo mother. He will be gone on a business trip for a few days, and then he's taking the time to like go see his friends afterwards. He said, the man really thought it was a good idea to go hang out and visit his buddies for like 5 days. Leave his 7-week-old baby home with the toddler. I wasn't desperate to have a sweet treat. At first, my husband said no, and then I said I would massage him for an hour tonight if you bought me a sweet treat. Man is so cheap, he went to grocery outlet to buy these, and they were a little bit expensive. We are leaving for a Halloween party in 15 minutes. My husband said, so what are you bringing for dessert tonight? You did not tell me I was in charge of bringing a dessert. I was not told. He's like, oops, yeah, sorry, I forgot. Today was a very treat yourself. You had a crappy shizzy day, so treat yourself kind of attitude. You know what the nice thing is? The nice thing is that my husband was on board with this treat yourself. Sometimes I have a treat myself attitude, but I don't get to treat myself because my husband's attitude is, no, do not spend money unless I tell you to. There's been a few times where I've spent a certain amount of money and my husband says, Kate, I'm going to take away your credit card. I'm 25 weeks pregnant. There are days I want to sit in bed and rot and I can't do anything. I don't have the motivation to do anything. And there's days like today. It's 95 degrees outside and we decide to go on a family bike ride. And of course, the bike trailer is just attached to my bike. So I'm carrying the bike trailer plus a 30-pound toddler. And tell me why my husband the entire time was so far ahead. He had not a single drop of sweat on. And I look like this. I'm 25 weeks pregnant. I'm pretty sure that baby inside of me, like, what the heck is going on right now? Why in the world is your heart going so fast? I think my heart rate was probably at least 200 beats per minute. I've been home for like 20 minutes and my legs are literally still shaking. I have 102 fever and I just ran 2 miles because my husband's motto is to sweat it out when you're sick. Maybe go sit out in the sun and then go run 2 miles. And what does he do? He gets the kid. He goes in the car to follow me on my run. Why is it that men can spend money on whatever they want to? If the girl spends money on something the guy doesn't agree with, then it's a waste of money and they get mad. If I were to spend $5 on, say, a Starbucks drink, then it's a waste of money and my husband gets upset. When we go to dinner and he spends $4 on these random cheesecake bites, they're totally not necessary. He's like all excited and excited to show me. But if I were to go order for us and come back with something not necessary, like a dessert or a treat or a drink, he'd be like, why did you spend so much money? I have been up all day long and I'm going to work night shift tonight, but first I gotta make dinner for my lazy friend husband. He claims that he is incapable of cooking dinner for the kids tonight and for himself, so I have to make it before I leave. I think I got like 2 hours of sleep last night. I went to bed at 2 a.m. after watching the Outer Banks finale, and then baby Jaden was up seriously like the entire night, which means by the time 7 a.m. rolled around, my husband said, hey, you need to get with the kids, and we've been up ever since. Pray for my husband, he can actually manage to take care of the kids tonight.
He was the one that spent $9 on lemonade. I'm always worried about, offending him or making him mad for spending $2.50 on a freaking Diet Coke when he just goes and buys $9 in lemonade. So my husband claims he's incapable of ever washing the dishes, so I'm teaching my 2-year-old that way he never tells his future wife that he's incapable of washing the dishes. I asked my husband to get his lazy butt off the couch and help me clean this freaking kitchen. After he moaned and complained for a while, the man found the most random job ever and he's decided to start vacuuming the couch. It's a rare occasion that he's helping me clean, so I don't want to disturb him. And he's gonna be like, well fine, if you don't like how I do it, then you just do it right.
My husband cooked these and then he said, Kate, give me a clean plate, and I looked in the cupboard and there were no clean plates, and so it was the last moment for the moment, like whatever kind of thing, He laughed, rolled his eyes, and he was like, yeah, sure, whatever, that works, I guess, so whatever.
Before baby was born is that when James would wake up around 10ish or so, I would get downstairs and feed him breakfast, and my husband would come down like an hour later. My husband is just the farthest thing from a morning person. Like morning for him is like 11 a.m. Let's be real. I mean, in my opinion, my husband should be the one waking up with James when he wakes up now. But I don't know. I guess I lost the battle with that one because every morning now when James wakes up, I feed the baby, give the baby to my husband, they go back to sleep, and I bring James downstairs and feed him breakfast.
does it smell like financial abuse in here? There's not a lot to say about this. It's more just, I hope that she stops taking out her frustrations on her children. It's not like she can outrun her depression and alleged abuse at the mall. She couldn't even go on Amazon without him pitching an absolute shit fit. I just don't think it's a healthy environment for a child to be raised in. Call me crazy, but maybe a house with such a tight leash on both food and finances isn't the most healthy and uplifting environment for a child.
It's satire. My husband is the sweetest, nicest, kindest, most loving, most nurturing father in the entire world. He is playing on the ground with James like 90% of the day. If that man is not laughing, having fun, teasing him, playing with him, whatever it is, then something's wrong, because those two have the strongest bond, the strongest father-son bond that I know of anyone else.
Besties, we just saw the same compilation of videos that I forced you to watch for the past 20 minutes. When at any time did you see his ass on the ground with that boy? Even 10% of the time? Because I surely didn't. The only time I think I've ever even seen them laugh together like Hannah alleges they do is when they were laughing at his jalapeno and lemon juice discomfort. That's not good. Like, yeah, you're laughing, but at whose cost?
It makes me really sad that social media has turned it into something, or me, maybe it's, I don't know, maybe this, it makes me sad that I guess I've turned it into something. In the video that you guys are all freaking out about, they're just playing.
That you're all freaking out about. I'm sorry? Us? God forbid we cause a ruckus. Maybe you should be concerned about why your child's flinching. Surely you're a mandated reporter, so you know what to look for. And then for her to say like, oh, I never saw anything, assuming that there's any sort of physical abuse going on. If she's like, well, I didn't see anything. Okay, but you know the signs. You know what to look for when a kid flinches like that. I just don't understand how she could have watched this video back while editing and looked at her son make that face and then was like, oh, it's a funny game. She is genuinely that deluded. I suppose at this point that it didn't even register that that's not a good reaction. I genuinely don't think she thought it was like rage bait. I genuinely think she's just that out of fucking touch at this point that she didn't realize that she was putting this video up. She probably genuinely did think it was just like a funny thing where it's like, oh, they're just playing. Maybe she is just genuinely that delulu. But also willful ignorance at the expense of your child is no bueno, girl boss.
They're always playing where they scare each other. James is obsessed with dinosaurs and bears, and where they look away and they come back and they scare each other, and they play like when they throw something, they'll play throw it. You know, when you like psych them out, you know, when they flinch and whatever. Like, that's what they're always doing. They're always like hiding behind couches and jumping at each other and chasing each other in the house and up the stairs and down the stairs and tackling each other. They're always playing constantly.
I'm gonna give you guys a homework assignment because clearly I'm being gaslit right now. Show me where throughout her TikTok they're playing, because like I am fucking stumped. Also, I can't even argue for the jump scare one because I watched a video this morning of his dad who was making a point. He was like, look, when I jump scare my kid, this is how she reacts. And they filmed like a whole video of them playing together, and she reacted the exact same way that every healthy child I know reacts. You laugh, you double over, and you cover your side because someone's coming in hot for a tickle sesh.
Nothing's going on. From the moment that my husband wakes up in the morning to the second he goes to bed, he is only thinking about our children and our family and what's best for us. That's never not on his mind. He is constantly thinking about his children, their futures, what it's like now, how to be the best father. I promise, when I promise this, I'm serious. Nothing is going on.
Don't worry, guys. She's being serious. We can and should trust her. Did you see the way she just asked us nicely? We need not worry about her flinchy little baby. And I think there's some tears.
There's nothing going on.
All I can really say is that Hannah fucking sucks, and so does her stupid husband. It is what it is. She has very few redeeming qualities in my personal opinion. I think that if she grows and takes some time for herself, she might be chilling. She might be kind of cool. But like, she kind of freaks me out too. It very much feels like the lights are on, but no one's home, so I really don't know when she'll get the ability to learn. Maybe in prison, hopefully. Who knows? Let's send her a few parenting books or something. Please subscribe if you liked this video. Bye.